Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some massive news for the Texas A&M Aggie fans coming out of signing day. Five-star athlete Terry Bussey signing with the Texas A&M Aggies, and Mike Elko fending off a late push from Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, fending off a late push from Brian Kelly in the LSU Tigers. And I think the biggest storyline here is not only is Texas A&M getting just a pure difference maker on the football field, whatever position he plays. I think the biggest storyline is Mike Elko answering the question of, can he recruit at the highest level for Texas A&M? When Mike Elko took this job in College Station, we knew that he was an elite player developer. We knew that he brought elite culture to this Texas A&M program. I think that one question we had was, can he recruit at the SEC level? Can he recruit at a high enough level to win SEC championships, to win national championships? And I think you get a little bit of an answer here on signing day, locking in Terry Bussey. You want to talk about a few different things. One, what this means for this Texas A&M program, what Terry Bussey brings to this Texas A&M team, and then have that conversation about where Texas A&M is going to use Terry Bussey and how they are going to use him. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys, and it has been an absolute blast covering this team for the last couple of weeks in the transfer portal, on the high school recruiting trail, doing deep dives into this roster. Cannot thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown the boys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll continue to update you guys on Texas A&M, what they're doing on the recruiting trail. And without further ado, let's get into Terry Bussey. And I first want to highlight, this level of win, and you do a little reading on how this recruitment played out. It just sounded like Mike Elko in this new staff at Texas A&M just outworked Brian Kelly and outworked Kirby Smart at Georgia for this commitment, right? This is a guy that was coveted by almost every single Power 5 SEC program that you saw in that conference. And I think Mike Elko, the in-home visits, having him on campus, the consistent communication, I think that one shows you that Mike Elko and this staff, they have the chops to go head-to-head with Kirby Smart, Brian Kelly, in a plethora of other SEC coaches to win out for the top talent in the high school on the high school recruiting trail. And you talk about a guy like Terry Bussey, and I'm sure many Texas A&M fans who's already previously committed to Texas A&M know what he brings to the table on the football field. This is a guy that threw for almost 6,000 yards and 76 touchdowns, ran for over 5,000 yards and 93 touchdowns during his high school career on the defensive side of the football, had 24 interceptions during his career. Those are video game numbers. That production, and we talk a lot about a lot of different high school prospects over the last couple of months. I haven't seen numbers like that. This is a guy that is just a difference maker on the football field. You take a look at the athlete on the track and field, runs a 10.6, 600 meters. So he is not only one of the fastest players that's going to be on the field wherever he's playing, but the movement skills are kind of what stands out to me. How smooth of a mover he is, whether he has the football in his hands, whether he's breaking on footballs as a defensive back. When you have that long speed, that's one thing. When you have the ability to change direction, accelerate, decelerate, make people miss, and be a fluid mover with that long speed, that's when you start talking about a special player. And I think that is really what Terry Bussey is. Now, I think the second conversation, now we normally get into the film, talk a little bit about what these players bring to the table. I'm pretty confident that Texas A&M fans have already seen the film probably a couple different times and know what he's bringing as a football player. I want to have more of the conversation of, where does Texas A&M use him at the college level? And I'll say this, and I get that this is a lofty comp here, but kind of like Travis Hunter. And this is a guy that he truly is a difference maker with the football in his hands on the offensive side of the football. But you look at where he might project the best at the college level and at the NFL level, it's probably as a defensive back. And I think that's where a lot of programs saw Terry Bussey at the next level. So you're probably getting an elite defensive back, but a guy that you can't really ignore what he can do with the football in his hands. So what I kind of see Texas A&M doing, and I have no doubt that this was a conversation on the recruiting trail, is, hey, we think that you can be an all-pro, an all-American, the defensive back at the next level. But we also recognize that you are a different with the hands. If you've seen the film, you see that kind of the first thing that jumps out. We're going to get you touches on the offensive side of the football. but I think that you're going to see mostly him in the secondary. But at the end of the day, anywhere Terry Bussey's on the field, he's going to be a difference maker for this Texas A&M program. And I get the Travis Hunter comp, that's lofty expectations, but I think Terry Bussey is a special athlete. This is a guy that when you combine the long speed, the playmaking ability, the movement skills, he checks all those boxes. And you might get the most production out of him year one as a special teams guy. Again, when he has the football in space, he's just kind of different. And I wouldn't even mind him seeing him play with wide receiver at the next level either, because when you look at the film and what stands out to you most when you turn on Terry Bussey, it's what he can do with the football in his hands. This Texas A&M offense, looking for those explosive difference makers on the offensive side of the football. I think Terry Bussey can do that. They obviously want a lot of guys in the back end. They went to the transfer portal, brought a lot in. I think he could certainly do that. This is a massive get. And the two things that kind of stand out. One, yes, this is a great player for Texas A&M. You are truly getting a 5-star prospect. But I think more importantly, highlighting what Mike Elko can do at the SEC level on the recruiting trail is probably the biggest news that you're going to get out of this. And there seems to be a ton of buzz around what Mike Elko can do with this program. You see the amount of talent that is coming to College Station for visits. This is going to be a fun next couple of weeks for Texas A&M on the recruiting trail, seeing the traction that they have. They crushed the transfer portal. They did a really good job closing in 2024 in a very difficult spot. Now their eyes are set to building a strong class in 2025. I'm fired up for Mike Elko, fired up for this program. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.